Hi, everyone. We are going live today with Frontida. It's Crystal and I, and we have just hit a 9-year anniversary, and we're talking through the things we've learned in the 9 years. And I wanted to we thought we could come on here and just talk about one of the main things that we learned from getting in this industry 9 years ago. And I think what we want to talk about today is the fact that there are a lot of acronyms in senior living. It is there are ACs and ADRCs and just a whole alphabet soup of stuff. And when we were trying to learn the business, it was like we tried to get advice, and then people in the industry would just go, "Well, go to the ADRC and find this form," and everything had an acronym. And so we realized that a lot of family members come to us, and they're already a little bit stressed about trying to find placement or find it for their loved one, and then on top of it being thrown all these terms. So we're going to just talk today about the terms that we found helpful in the industry if you understand them. So, Crystal, why don't you talk about a little bit some of the things you know?
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to, because so many people come to us and say, I really need help. And I don't think of us as being really that much of a wealth of knowledge, except that when I'm done with my short conversation, usually people say, that was amazing, thank you. So I thought, well, other people in the community need to have just a basic help of understanding of this.
Be a huge help.
So, we at Frontida Assisted Living operate CBRFs. And so that's kind of like the middle function of assisted living.
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk about that in a minute.
Yep.
RCACs is like what would be maybe the starting version of how you'd get into assisted living. You live in an RCAC. If you still are pretty independent and want your own space, want your own apartment, we want to be able to cook just a little, but have the opportunity to have meals provided for you, or someone checking on you to make sure you're safe, or a little bit of help with your meds, or maybe a shower, a few times a week. You can get help like that in an RCAC.
RCAC. And what it actually means is residential care apartment complex. So just think of everything you think about as maybe a senior apartment, but your loved one is there, and they get people coming in to check on them throughout the day. So they can be alone. They can cook some, but they still need someone to check on them. And the residential care apartment complex, or the RCAC, gives them that help where they have some independence, their own place, but yet people are coming to check on them.
Right. So an RCAC is regulated by the state of Wisconsin, which should also give people some just starting point of comfort, because there's a lot of rules surrounding it, and good providers are following those rules.
Yeah.
So the second level would be a CBRF. And the CBRF stands for Community-Based Residential Facility. Now, that's exactly what it means. It's a residential facility based in the community. Yeah. Back in the day, there was a lot of institutions that people would stay at, and the state wanted to get away from that. They wanted people to be in like what seemed like home in neighborhoods. Yep. So a lot of CBRFs are just kind of plopped down in neighborhoods.
One of ours here in Kenosha is a perfect example of that. We are literally right between a funeral home and then a funeral home and then a Culver's and a McDonald's, which is where they go. They get coffee where residents can leave. They can go get coffee. They can get ice cream. It's just and
it's right next door to neighbors. There's just single-family homes.
Single-family homes right next door to it. So it's right in that usually a transition period between residential homes and some commercial restaurants and stuff. They're right in between that, and that's a perfect spot. Which is where our Azalea place is here in Kenosha.
So people can live in the community. But in a CBRF, you do have the opportunity to have 24-hour care. Caregivers that are awake 24 hours a day, providing every meal, providing medications at every med pass, cleaning, housekeeping, laundry, everything is provided for you. And usually people have a private room, sometimes share a bathroom, sometimes private, but almost always a very common living area, common dining, with all meals taken, kind of family style.
Yeah, and I would say with a CBRF, the key word is community. It's a community-based residential facility, but it's also community-based in the way people live. Like we have one dining room, you have an activity area where people are doing things as a group, and so where the first one, the RCAC, which is a keyword is apartment. This one is keyword is community, because you are really in a community every day. You're not meant to spend all day in your room by yourself. You're meant to be out with the other group, and you get friends and activities, and it becomes a real community within that home.
Right. So in a CBRF, there's only a limited amount of skilled nursing care that you can actually have. And after it gets over a certain point, you're no longer appropriate to be in a CBRF if you really need high level of skilled care, like what a registered nurse could provide.
Right. But people do stay in the CBRF till the end of life. Like
most people do.
And hospice can come in and add support. So you can stay in the CBRF till the end of life.
Right. It's such a blessing too to be able to take care of people till the end, because we become their home, and our caregivers are the ones that are there holding their hand till their very end. And
yes.
It's honestly, it's not fun to talk about that, but it's a blessing.
Yeah.
So other parts of assisted living, one segment, I guess, would be called adult family home. Now, an adult family home is exactly what it sounds. It's like a family. It's usually just a ranch-style home with a couple bedrooms, 4 residents or less.
Right. The key word, it's smaller. It's a very small community.
Yeah, and very high level of care can happen in those homes. And we don't operate any of those, but that can be a great fit, especially for someone with developmental disabilities or high physical needs. It can be a really good fit.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll hear about a SNF. And SNF, that sounds so crazy, but it would be a skilled nursing facility.
Yeah.
So any normal
nursing home is what that is.
Yeah. Any old normal old-fashioned, I guess you'd say, nursing home is a SNF. One of the things, and I think Steve talked about it a minute ago, was an ADRC. And when people come to me and say, Crystal, help me understand what to do first, the very first thing you should do is in your community, go to the ADRC and talk to them about the financial situation, about the needs of your loved one, and they'll help you with resources.
Right.
And every community has one. It's the Aging and Disability Resource Center. It's a county-based organization.
Yeah, and so that is every community has, like Crystal just said, in their county-based. So that's not a home where people live permanently. That's just a resource center. And it's really it's just letter A, it's starting point where you start your journey, because they will give you recommendations on what care level is appropriate, like which one of the things we just listed is appropriate for your loved one. They'll give you some trusted providers that they've worked with in the past to help you with the financing. It's the starting point, and you can find those. You can Google it and find it pretty easily.
Yeah. So as you can tell, Steve and I enjoy spending time together at work. A little bit not dressed the same today.
So I was working today all day, but this is my comfort. I didn't have it. Crystal had a meeting where she had to go network with everybody, and I didn't. So I'm.
Yeah. So we've had a good day working, but this is something we enjoy, is sharing valuable insight for you. And if you need help, we may not be the right long-term fit for you, but that doesn't stop us from being able to help you with these initial questions and decisions that you're making and helping you know which direction to go. Reach out to us. We want to be a resource. It's one of the things that we love most about this business is helping people be successful.
Right. And
whether it's our residents, family members, caregivers, it's just probably one of the reasons we get up in the morning.
Yeah. If we can get on the phone with you and talk through a situation where you say, I have a loved one and I'm not sure where to go next or what's appropriate. I had lunch today with an individual, his family members in Iowa, and just has some sort of memory loss. And so just sitting at lunch, I was able just to say, look, this is the things to think about. And they're not going to come to one of our homes. It's not about that. We want to there's a lot of resources for getting people in the right place. So if we can help you in that, let us know. We'd be glad to. I think you can find us. You know where to find us, but it's frontidacare.com. Our number's on there, and we'd be happy to reach out and talk with you anytime.
Yeah. Thanks.
We'll be back.